So this episode is about tactical pens. And I wanted to do an episode on tactical pens because in New York there's not a lot of stuff that you can carry anymore that you'll be able to use to actually defend yourself. And a tactical pen like the one I carry, this is the one I carry. It's a 511. I like it, and I'll tell you the reasons why I like it. There's other ones out there too. Pretty much whatever you feel comfortable with is a good choice. There's a couple out there that are more expensive. There's a couple out there that have different features. It doesn't really matter. You know, there's the glass break stuff, and I'll tell you the reasons why I don't like some of that stuff. But this episode is going to be on tactical pens and their uses. If you know anything about Kubatons or Yawara sticks, this is the same kind of deal. And you can carry this anywhere. So you can't carry a Kubaton on a airplane. You generally can carry a pen on an airplane. They're not gonna fuck with you, at least as far as I know, they won't. I'm gonna get into some of the techniques as far as Kubatons go, because this is basically a Kubaton. I'm gonna give you some detail on what you should and shouldn't look for, as far as I'm concerned, and what I've found. Not what your typical review online has to say, because they all say the same shit. They're paid to do that. So I'm going to tell you why I like what I have and how it works and the refills that go with it. Because not only can you use this, I use this stuff all the time. I'm a contractor, so this is an awesome pen. I can take it wherever. It doesn't get, snapped in half or crushed or whatever. I like stuff that'll last, and this is lasted. And there's a couple different tactical pens out there that have different stuff on them. They come apart differently. The way you deploy the pen itself to write, they're all different. So we're going to go over all that in this episode. So stand by. Okay, so first thing I'm going to touch on is what to look for in a tactical pen. These are my opinions, and if you're looking for something different, then do what you got to do. I'm just telling you what I think is the best way to look at this thing, because you want both. You want this pen to be both used for writing, obviously, because it's a pen, right? And it doubles as a defensive tool. So, and again, I like stuff that have dual purposes. That's my goal. So this is the reason why I chose this one. There's a few other ones out there that have the same capabilities and deployed differently or whatever, but I just like this one. So what I'm going to start off with is the way to deploy the pen. So this one is a twist. It's a simple twist and it's out. Okay. There's no push buttons on it, and I'll tell you the reason why I think push buttons are not a good idea. There's also ones that you take off the cap for. And in my experience, whenever I have a pen with a cap, that cap's gone within a couple days. So I don't want something that a two-piece and now I got to put this fucking thing on the back of it or whatever. They have a tendency to come off when I put this in my vest when I'm riding. I keep it with me in my tool bag when I'm going out, so it gets a lot of abuse. And I'll tell you what, if I had a cap on this thing, that cap's gone. Forget about it. And now I just, you have an open pen that now, you put it in your good clothing and you get ink marked up. So that's the reason why I don't like caps. I didn't want the push button deployment method, because if you're going to use this as a defensive tool, the way you would use a Kubaton to hit somebody, and we'll go over that in the next recording, but you have this push button up here. If you're using this for your leverage to strike something, you have a button now that moves, and it's just another thing that can break off, go wrong, not be able to actually hold it solidly because you have a movable object right up here. So I don't like that. That's the reason why I like the twist, right? The other one was this has a pretty sturdy clip on it. Has not broke off yet. All the pens that I've ever had with clips, this thing always busts off. But this one that's solid, real solid. So the other capabilities I like with these things is they're called Right in the Rain ink sticks, pens, whatever you want to call it. We call them ink sticks in the Marine Corps, so I keep on saying that. But any refill that you can get for this, you can use the Parker refills, which they're kind of expensive. You'll want the pressurized versions of anything they get. They have gel points, they have ball points, they have fine tips or something. I forget what it is. It's just, I like to be able to write and not have to press really hard, and I didn't like that, so I got rid of it. And that was the Write in the Rain one, so I'm not sure on that. I'm gonna order another one and see if I have the same problem with it. But I like to be able to put this thing down and write smoothly, and no matter what condition. And once I put the Parker refill in it, I got that, but it's not pressurized, so you can't write upside down. Like, I don't know why the fuck you'd want to write upside down in the first place, but, you know, it'll write pretty much wherever. And I've had this out in cold weather, hot weather, wet weather, and it still writes. The regular refills write just fine. Now, as far as them, you know, exploding in your pocket, I don't know about that yet. I haven't had that happen to me, and this has been through a lot of shit. So, you know, that's one thing. Now, if you're going to use this as a defensive weapon, one of the things I like about this is it's one piece, right? There's your tip, your stabbing. You have a good solid hold up here. It extends farther out past your, I mean, you don't want something that's like this, because now you're probably going to rip up your skin. It's not going to be effective. You want it to protrude out past your hand, right? So you can do the stabbing motions. And again, we'll go over all this when I show you some of the defensive things. Basically Kubaton training. So now I have seen some of the ones that have all kinds of funky shit up here, like rippers, or I don't know what they are. They're like points or something like that. Well, that defeats the purpose of being a Kubaton, because now you can't hold like this. What are you going to freaking slice through your thumb? So this is flat. I don't know if you can see it. Flat surface. Perfect for, you know, your thumb. You don't get anything caught up in it or whatever. Now, some also have the points for glass breaking. Again, you can't have a point on the end of this and do anything. So I don't even know why I had to tell anybody that. I just don't get it. Plus, some of them had glass breakers on the end. They'll come out like in a little tip or whatever. Again, you're using this for a pen too, man. You're putting it in your pocket. You're putting it wherever. That's going to get snagged up on shit and rip shit. Plus, if you go on an airplane, if you have anything that looks like a weapon at all, they're not going to let you take it. So if you have something protruding out here or a tip right here, I'm telling you, they're not going to let you take it. Guarantee. So this, you don't even know it's until you actually hold it, because it's got some beef. And whenever I loan this to somebody, they need a pen for a few seconds, and I give it to them, they're always, oh man. They're doing that. They're, wow, this is a pretty tough pen, right? It's hefty. I mean, it's heavy. It's not heavy that it's going to weigh. It's not going to weigh down your shirt or nothing like that, but it's got some beef in it. So it's a good pen. The other thing too is you're going to want a pen that has a fairly decent tip on it without the pen being deployed. So again, if you're using it in defense, it's not going to bust up or anything like that. There's no way this is going to bust up. So I can use this for leverage techniques, which I'm not going to show you because they're kind of complex. But I'm going to show you all the pressure points and where to strike with something like this, a Kubaton. So, and that's easy to deploy, easy to use. This will always be on you. It's there. You'll never get flagged for having a weapon. So that's what I like these things for. Anyway, this pen is from 511. They got a lot of great stuff out there. I think they're a pretty decent company. So, but any pen that has those kind of features, I think, is a good way to go. So get what's comfortable for you. Get what you like. And if you want to go the ones with the glass break and all the cool things, go for it. But again, you're not going to probably be able to take it some places that you want to take it. That's the only thing. So let's go. All these are from the grab. So anything to the face is going to be a good target, an easy target. Nose, temples, bridge of the nose, chin, wherever. I like to do 3 strikes, as I said, because you're definitely going to hit the target. You can also target the solar plexus with the reverse grip. Here's the hand. You can target hand. Small bones in the hand. You can do a regular knife grip for the solar plexus as well. The sewing drill stab, prison stabs. Alright, so you saw what can be done with the pen. In order to get to that, though, you're going to have to use the pen in practice just like anything else. In martial arts, in boxing, in whatever. You can't just go out there and deploy this stuff without even having a little bit amount of training on it. You're going to need to train with this. So what's the difference between this tactical pen and this Kubaton? Number one, this is way heavier. This is an actual Kubaton. I don't know if it's steel, iron, whatever. It's heavy, right? This is not really that heavy. It's heavier than a regular pen, but for the most part, it's a pen. So, and I can deploy it by twisting. Deploy the pen, anyway, by twisting. So, and I discussed why I like that, as opposed to all the rest of the other tactical pens as well, too. Now, carrying around this, I mean, this is heavy, and you can do some damage with this, but again, this is heavy. I don't know. I really haven't carried it around with me at all. It's heavy. It doesn't have any other purpose but a Kubaton. And I know it's supposed to be maybe on a keychain. The problem with putting these on keychains is it weighs down the whole keychain. It can really fuck up your ignition. So, where the key goes in, anyway. So I've been told by a lot of auto mechanics not to do that, not to weigh down your keychain with a bunch of keys, and especially shit like this. So you can do some damage there. I don't know if that was a while ago, so I don't know if that pertains to the vehicles nowadays, but it made sense to me anyway. So how do you practice with the pen? Well, you got your pen. I know it's a pen. You don't want to fuck it up or whatever, but if you're going to use this thing for a Kubaton as well, you're going to need to. So the first thing to do is actually hit a real target. No. Let me rephrase that. Hit a target that's going to have some resistance, like a piece of wood, like I was doing with the knives. So, and the first thing you want to do, you want to hold it, like I said, like this with your thumb, so it doesn't, because this is going to go back and forth. You can't. If you're using the regular knife grip, you got to hold it in a way that this has something to back it, because then it's just going to get pressed in like this. So, especially if you're going after hard targets like the head or whatever. All right. I like this grip because it's a fist. You're used in a fight, in altercation, everybody does this right away. Right? They clench their fists. So this is an easy, you don't have to learn anything. It just is, right? Thumb goes on the end, and you defend in this way. You can also defend in this way, but you really want to hit your targets with force, so you feel what it's like to hit a hard target with this. Or this, if you're practicing Kubaton, you can do that too. So you definitely want to feel what it's going to be like if you actually hit something, someone, whatever. What I also like to do is hit a target 3 times. I like in the same place. I'm in a system right now that I'm going through, and I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want anybody getting mad about it, but that's kind of where I got the 3 strikes from. The problem with the system that I was working in is the 3 strikes, they want it to be in different places. And they usually teach head, body, groin, whatever. The problem with doing that, that's basically a combination. When somebody's grabbing you, whatever it is you're trying to get out of, trying to remember that you have to hit in 3 different places is kind of, it's just more to remember. Anyone can hit the same place 3 times because that's basically your instinct now. Your instinct kicking in. If somebody is grabbing you, hitting in 3 places is going to, especially if it's close, obviously it's going to be close, so you're going to be using your elbows or whatever. So, and an elbow up against a hand, say if they're defending it, you're going through that hand every single time. That's why I like to say 3 times in the same place. The same thing with this. So again, if you're being attacked 3 times in the same place, by the time they know what to even come close to even defending it, you've already hit them probably 3 times already at speed. And I'm going to show you what that looks like as well too. So where do combinations come into play, like what I had just mentioned? Well, if you're going up against somebody in a, they haven't grabbed onto you, it's just a bar fight or whatever, and Duke's up, whatever, put them up, that kind of shit, yeah, you're going to have to do some combinations, because you're just not going to start hitting the same place 3 times, because they're going to block it every time. But if you're close in and they're grabbing you, like I said, hitting them 3 times before they even know what's going on, you've already hit them 3 times. And it's easy to hit a target 3 times. It's instinct. It's gross motor skills as opposed to fine motor skills, because with fine motor skills, you still have to think about what you're doing. With 3 strikes to the same place, a freaking monkey could do that, right? So you don't have to think about shit. It's just whatever you have is you're hitting 3 damn times, and hard as you possibly can, and violently as you possibly can. Same thing with this. So that's why I say the whole 3 strikes in different places. I don't like that concept. So again, if you're in a one-on-one, hey, put them up type thing, yeah, then your combinations are good. But as if you're getting wrapped up by somebody, nah, just freaking, if you hit something 3 times, at least one of them is going to connect good, right? If you hit 3 times in the different places, there's a good chance that none of them will work, and you just now you've just wasted energy and everything else, and they're even more pissed off, right? Maybe you try to hit them in the groin and you skimmed it or something like that, or you missed it, or if you hit in the stomach or whatever. That a lot of times that I've seen people get punched 1,000 times in the stomach, not have a damn thing. In the head, what if they're moving? You're 3 times in the same place. That's where I like to go. So that's what I'm saying. So anyway, I hope you guys have got a good understanding of the tactical pen and its uses, obviously for writing. So number 1, and the second is a Kubaton, your Wara stick, whatever you want to call it. And that's about it. Pen versus Kubaton. Kubaton. A lot more force with the Kubaton, but precision force with the pen. Much less tip, a lot more energy goes into this little tip than this. So pick whichever one you want.